in investment decisions, what is this payback period? The concept is very simple. Payback period means how long is it taking for you to recover the initial investment. It's like this. As an investor, normally before I invest my hard-earned money somewhere, I will check how long will it take for me to recover the initial investment. The amount that I am investing, how many years or how many months will it take for me to recover the initial investment. So this is what in simple terms payback period means. How long is it taking for you to recover the initial investment? So now let's look into certain mathematical or numerical areas for y'all to get a better understanding of this payback period. I have given a question here. The question is, okay, I am going to invest $100,000. My investment amount is 100,000. I am planning to keep this investment for 10 years. From this investment, each year, it will generate me a cash flow of 20,000. So the question is very simple. I am asking, how long will it take for me to recover the initial investment? So what is the payback period is? Simply you can tell 5 years. Very simple. Year 1, 20,000. Year 2, 20,000. Year 3, 20,000. 4, 20,000. 5, 20,000. So within 5 years, I can recover my initial investment. So let's write it. 100,000 divided from 20,000. Then here the answer that I am getting is 5 years. So based on this particular question, now we'll construct a formula to calculate the payback period. Payback period, PBP means payback period. Payback period equals investment divided from the annual cash flow. Investment divided from the annual cash flow. So we'll do this particular question also using the same equation and we'll get a better understanding of this. Investment amount is 100,000. This investment, it is there for 5 years. Each year it will generate me a cash flow of $40,000. So we'll apply the formula. Investment amount is how much? 100,000. Each year I will generate a cash flow of 40,000. Then here, what's the answer that I am getting? 2.5 years. 2.5 years. When you're looking at both the questions that we discussed, what you have to understand, the first point, this particular formula can be used only if your cash flows are same. In this question, you see, every year from year 1 to year 10, every year you are getting 20,000, same cash flow. In this question also same, year 1 to year 5, every year how much you are getting? 40,000, same cash flow. So this particular formula can be used only if your cash flows are same. Then we'll see if your cash flows are not same, how to calculate the payback period. Okay. So let me take another question for that. Here I have given you a question. Investment amount is 100,000. Why it is inside the brackets? Because if I'm investing, my cash is going out. Cash outflow inside the brackets. Okay. So I am planning to use this particular investment for 5 years. Each year I am expecting to generate year 1 50,000, year 2 30,000, year 3 40,000, 4 20,000 and 5 10,000. In such a question, how to calculate the payback period? I'm not going to teach you the cumulative cash flow method because the method that I am going to teach you, I think personally it is easy than the cumulative cash flow method. But if you are familiar with the cumulative cash flow method, you can use that method. There is no problem at all. Okay. So my investment amount is how much? 100,000. From that first year, how much I am recovering? 50,000. Then balance is how much? 50,000. From that 50,000, second year, how much I am recovering? 30,000. Second year, I am recovering 30,000. So year 1, this is year 2. Then balance is how much? 20,000. Okay. The balance is 20,000. Then how many years are gone? 2 years are gone. 2 years. Okay. 2 years are gone. You have to recover another 20,000 from next year's 40,000. So you know it is pretty simple. 40,000 is the cash flow that you are expecting for a year. That means for 12 months. To recover 20,000, how long will it take? Only 6 months, if not half a year. So let's calculate it. Plus remaining amount 20,000 divided from the next year's cash flow. How much is that? 40,000. Next year's cash flow 40,000. Then here I am getting an answer of 2 years plus here it is 0.5 years. Then what's the final answer that I am getting? 2.5 years. So in this particular question, I can recover my initial investment within how many years? 2.5 years. So there is a point that you have to learn in this particular question. How did I calculate this payback period? Look at this. Now here in this question, our cash flows are not same, different cash flows. So I took full number of years, that means here 2 years plus, what is this 20,000? The remaining amount, 50,000 first year recovered, 30,000 second year recovered, 80,000 is recovered from 100,000. So the remaining amount is what? 20,000 is. Remaining cash flow divided from the 40,000 is what? 40,000 is the next year's cash flow. Next year's cash flow. And there is another point that you should know. In this question, I calculated the second part in years. Yeah, 0.5 years, 0.5 years. Suppose if you want the second part in months, what you should simply do, a simple thing that you should do, if you need the second part in months, simply multiply this by 12 months. 12 months. Then here what's the answer that you are getting? 20,000 divided from 40,000 into 12 months. Then 1, 2, then 12 divided by 2, it is 6. 6 months. 6 months. So here, did we get the answer in years? Full and fully? No. Combination of years and months. So if you want the second part in months, you have to multiply this or this part by 12. Let's assume you need the second part in weeks. What you should do? You have to multiply from how much? For a year, how many weeks are there? Now certain students might think, okay, 48 weeks. No. For a year, 52 weeks are there. Now certain students are wondering, how 52 weeks? For a month, 4 weeks. Then 12 months, 48 weeks. No. How did I get 52 weeks? You take a calendar and check. For a year, 52 weeks are there. Okay. So again, let's come back to the question. So if you want the second part in weeks, you have to multiply from 52 weeks. So here 2 years and 26 weeks. 26 weeks. So what is the learning that you should get here? If you want the second part in months, multiply by 12. If you want the second part in weeks, multiply by 52. If you want the second part in days, multiply by 365. So this is how you can calculate the payback period if your cash flows are not same. How is that? Take the full years plus remaining cash flow divided from the next year's cash flow. 12 in months, 52 in weeks, 365 days. So for this question, you can write the payback period 2.5 years. Is it correct? Yes. 2 years and 6 months. Is it correct? Yes. 2 years and 26 weeks. Is it correct? Yes. Now in this question, this calculation is easy actually. Sometimes you won't get easy questions like this. It will become much more complicated than this. Now here you know 100,000, first year 50,000, second year 30,000, 80,000 recovered. You need only another 20,000. From 40,000 getting 20,000 means only half. Means half a year, 0.5 years. If not 26 weeks. If not 6 months. Very simple calculation. But sometimes you won't get easy questions like this. So let's see a difficult question. So here I have given 100,000 is the initial investment, first year 50,000, second year 40,000 you are expecting to generate, third year 35,000, fourth year 20,000 and fifth year 15,000. So if that is the case, what is your payback period? 100,000 investment, okay. 50,000 first year, year 1, then balance is how much? 50,000. Second year how much? 40,000. Year 2, then balance is how much? 10,000. 10,000. So full years, how many years? 2 years. 2 years. Now this is a easy calculation or not? No. 10,000 is what you need. For the next year you are going to get 35,000. If not, you are expecting 35,000. So how to get the answer? We learn full years plus remaining cash flow divided from the next year's cash flow. So we are not going to multiply from 12 or 52 or 365. Let's take it in years itself. Okay. So if you are taking in years itself, you are not required to multiply from anything. If you want, you can multiply from 1 because finally you are going to get the same answer if you multiply from 1 also. So plus remaining cash flow is 10,000 divided from the next year's cash flow is how much? 35,000. 35,000. Then here 2 years plus 10,000 divided from 35,000. I am getting 0.29 years. Then here what's the answer? 2.29 years. 2.29 years. So this is how you can do a calculation if your cash flows are not same. So what are the things that we learn in this particular video? First one, what is payback period? Payback period means how long is it taking for you to recover the initial investment. Second, we learn if your cash flows are same, how to calculate the payback period. Investment divided from the annual or same annual cash flow, equal annual cash flow. That particular formula can be used only if your cash flows are same. Then we move to the next one. If your cash flows are not same, how to calculate the payback period? You can use this working. If not, you can use the cumulative cash flow method also, not a problem. After you find the full number of years, you have to get the second part correctly. How you can get it? Remaining cash flow divided from the next year's cash flow, multiply by 12. You will get the answer in months, 365 days, 52 in weeks. And apart from that, there is another one more thing that you should know. Let's assume there are two projects, project A and project B. Both the projects needs an investment of 100,000. 100,000. Okay. Let's assume both the projects are 10-year projects. 10-year projects. In project A, you have a payback period of 5 years. Okay. In project B, you have a payback period of 3 years. Out of these two projects, which project you will select? Post a comment. You should select the project B. I'm not looking at the NPV point of view, anything else. I'm looking at solely on the payback period. When I'm looking at the payback period point, obviously, I would love to recover my initial investment within 3 years than 5 years. I'm investing 100,000. I would love to recover my initial investment within 3 years than taking 5 years. So from that, what is the learning that you should get? Having a reduced payback period is good for you. Good for you means good for the investor. Having a reduced payback period is good for the investor. So I hope you got a very good understanding about the payback period from this particular video. If you are thinking I should cover some other areas, okay, please make sure to post a comment. And if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please make sure to subscribe it as well.